talking basketball. They're fucking dumb as shit. They don't know basketball, but they will make dumb ass jokes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod Don't Lie with Sam and Stav. Breaking motherfucking news. This just happened. Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee for 5 years. Supermax, Sammy.
This just in, Giannis rumors to New York officially dead.
I don't know. Look, it's a lot of. I just hope he doesn't turn out like Carmelo. You know, God forbid they trade for him and they give up Kevin Knox and Frank and.
I'll give up Knox, Ntilikina, and Randall for Giannis right now. I'll fucking do it, dude.
Wow, you'll pull the trigger on that right now?
Everyone's talking about a Randall Portis, reuniting. And
yes,
that could be it.
Let's get the Twin Towers back together. Yeah, those guys are as effective right now as the actual Twin Towers were against those planes. The same kind of defense they play. Bobby Portis plays the kind of defense the Twin Towers played against Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda is just every other team in the league in this scenario.
Oh fuck!
Dude, not even a minute into the podcast. What about?
Sorry, yeah, I'm pissed. You know what? That's why I'm out here. I'm not feeling good. I don't like this, Sam. We were talking about it last week. This
is a little dick move by Giannis.
It's, you know what? It's a big dick move, but it's too honorable.
But it's a big dick, but also a little dick move.
Yeah, it's a little dick trying to be a big dick. You know, I don't even know how to.
Well, it's honorable, and it's like marrying your high school sweetheart. The story is nice, but it ain't gonna end well.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You're exactly correct.
They just gave away their picks and signed a fucking older Jrue Holiday. Middleton's not going to get much better, is he? I mean, like, what do they do? Brooke Lopez is not young.
This sucks, dude. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought if
they got Bogdanovich, this would not look as bad.
I'm all in. If they had gotten Bogdanovich, I was so happy. I was like, fuck it, hell yeah, let's double. Because like we were talking about, Giannis, it's not just him, man. I was going to be a free agent too. I was gonna.
We talked about this.
We talked about this. I was literally today thinking. I was like, man, this is how deranged I am. How I was listening to a podcast where they were like, doing Nate Dunked On, which is a really good podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm plugging a different podcast here, but anyway, he was doing like each team by team preview, and I was listening to the Dallas Mavericks one today, and I was thinking like, when Giannis is thinking about free agency, I really should get a cowboy hat just in case he signs with the Mavericks so I can instantly post a video of me in a cowboy hat. That's what I was thinking today. I was thinking that at 10 a.m. today. I was like, yeah, I need content for my Pod Don't Lie family. I better get a cowboy hat and also like a white leisure suit in case he goes to Miami. I have to have all my bases covered. And
do you think Luka must be pissed right now? Luka must be like, really, dude? You couldn't have let us try to woo you. You couldn't have let me take you out to fucking barbecue. You couldn't have fucking.
I know. And listen, I know the people of Milwaukee are hating on us right now, hating on me specifically. I'm sorry, dude. I don't have any loyalty to your fucking town. I wanted to go to you know how much. Look, I like Milwaukee. I was just there. Shouts out to everyone who came to Turner Hall.
You wanted a coach that doesn't have a cuck fetish.
Exactly. I didn't want Gil from The Simpsons coaching my boy, dude. And I was I got to be honest, I've never been to Miami. If he went to Miami, I was looking forward to fucking doing cocaine and taking in a game of the United.
We would have hit up Art Basel. We would have fucking.
Yeah, we would have been at Art Basel, dude. We would have been getting head from Art Hose and Cubans at the same time, dude. Girls with mullets and big titties.
I'm in a relationship. I can't be doing that, but.
Okay, you'd be watching.
I'd be watching and jerking.
You'd be spotting.
Yes,
I would. Like, babe, it's his birthday.
I cleaned it up.
Babe, I was just beating off while Stav was getting pegged. It's guy
some
stuff.
guy trying to defend that. You let me jerk off to porn. Why can't I jerk off in a room to my friend?
It's my friend doing live porn. Oh, I guess we can only watch movies. I guess theater is dead now. It's the theater version of porn. I'm cultured. I'm too cultured to beat off to videos.
You're the one that said I should be making more content for my podcast. She's like, I never said that. I'm like, look, I'm trying to take Pod Don't Lie to the next level.
To the next level.
I'm mad for you because I think the free agency period is fun. And you missed out on it. You missed out on supporting your boy through all the fucking stories. It's bad for podcasting because we could have followed all the fun storylines. He just re-signed with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And he's got heart. Honorable. You got to give him, he's got heart.
Yeah, he definitely does. And that's, you know what? I have to say this feels more of his Nigerian side than his Greek heritage because we have no loyalty to anyone. We're a bunch of oily, slippery bastards that don't give a fuck. We'll torch our diner for insurance money at the drop of a hat. Okay? And that's what Giannis should have been doing. This Milwaukee is a big failing diner that he should have been fucking pouring gasoline around and letting the pilot light on and just tossing a match in while he now he disappears to Santorini until the check clears.
The fucking scallops at a fucking diner. That's what he did. He's like, I'm all in on this diner. Let me try the seafood. I'm like, Giannis, this is not going to be good for you.
It's brutal. It's brutal. So look, I like Milwaukee. I think it's a cool town. I enjoy my time there.
It is cool.
And I'm not trying to sound anti-Milwaukee because I think that is the coolest thing that could have happened is he stays with his team. He stays with the place that drafted him, where he came to, superstardom, where he won his 2 back-to-back fucking MVPs. That's a great story. And that's what everyone should have been rooting for. But their GM has fucked that team up, and they've given up 3 first-round picks for Jrue Holiday, who, again, if it was the kind of thing where they got Bogdanovich too, and sure the starting lineup was great and the bench is thin, but then in their hard cap, but it's like, fuck it. This is one of those teams where we assembled our team. Next year we'll fill out the bench and Giannis will be here till he's 30.
The bench is Calista Flockhart thin. It's fucking
but they don't even have him. They completely fucked up. And we were joking about it with Bobby Portis at the beginning when we were talking about Al Qaeda.
Yeah, he got big minutes in the preseason so far. He's playing. Bobby
Portis is he's a fucking horrific defensive player, and he's not even that good on offense. And then I know you like the fucking point guard from Orlando, but he's too little to play in the he's too little to play in the playoffs. And it's just like tough. And I actually thought Craig and the guy they got the Torrey Craig and Bryn Forbes were good pickups on the wing, but those are minimum guys.
They're not guys that are going to help you past the fucking Lakers or Clippers or any of those teams that have multiple guys.
And listen,
and we should be celebrating the fact that, like he said, Kobe did it. Tim Duncan did it. I want to stay with one team. We should be celebrating that. And we're celebrating the loyalty, but the team long-term is not in a good position for winning. And we want to see Giannis winning. I mean, Kareem left Milwaukee and went to LA. So this team has been burned by the bright lights before. You needed a Nigerian Greek immigrant to come here and be like, give me that fucking Supermax. That's what they needed.
It's true. Milwaukee really benefits from him growing up homeless in Athens and him getting to Milwaukee and be like, yeah, this place is fucking awesome. He's like, wow. It's like, it's a step up over fucking, the shitty slums of Athens or whatever. But I don't know, man. He
pissed. Deserves a ring. He's so good. His loyalty is. And
I mean, you have to respect Giannis.
KD both fucking did not do what he did.
Right. True.
And you have to respect that on some level.
You have to respect Giannis because you're right. What he said is, I want to be great. And listen, at the end of the day, if Giannis becomes the guy who, I mean, look, he's a big and he's an MVP caliber player. If he takes another leap and he's like, not only am I a big man, but I also at the end of games have that mid range, have a little something. Like if I can create one-on-one,
drinking that Knicks juice.
I'm not, bro. No, how dare you? First of all, Giannis developing a mid-range is so much more reasonable than the Knicks fucking becoming a great franchise overnight. So why don't you suck my dick on that one, Sam?
That's a good point you make, though. Speaking of great franchises, he brought up Kobe.
No, I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow that transition from the Knicks.
Okay. segue denied. But moving forward,
boom, the Kembe on that segue.
Moving forward.
No.
I will say this. Giannis talked about Kobe and Duncan as guys that he wanted to emulate, like their path. They were both parts of a great franchise. The Spurs are a great franchise. The Lakers were a great franchise. The Spurs kept intact an incredible nucleus, added the best supporting players, guys like Michael Finley, Robert Horry, when they kept guys like Ginobili and Parker around Duncan. Whereas the Lakers fucking pulled off a heist for Paul Gasol when they already had Andrew motherfucking Bynum and Lamar Odom on that team. Like, these are teams that were pulling off heists. You just gave up multiple first-round picks for Drew motherfucking Holiday.
That's a great point. Yeah, not just great. You know, I don't give a fuck if it's a great franchise, but yeah, can they put talent around him? You want to be like Kobe and Tim Duncan? Kobe had fucking Shaq, Giannis. Yeah. Kobe had Shaq. Tim Duncan had fucking, you know, the San Antonio, I guess, was the only team that knew that the outside world existed in the 90s.
Kobe so they got winning with this team.
Yeah, exactly.
Kobe, oh my God. Winning with, I love Kobe. He ain't winning with this team.
Yeah, put Tim Duncan on this team. He's not doing better than Giannis is. It's so, I don't know, man. I'm just not that fucking pumped. And you know what? At the end of the day, what really bothers me is that, like, okay, it doesn't bother me, right? Because this just shows that Giannis is a good person, because the reason to do this is intangible.
He also got $228 million.
He also made $250 million. Yeah, you're right.
Like he's
you're
a
right.
Fucking,
you're right.
Like, we're like, this, he's not Mother Teresa. He just got the fucking Supermax.
Yeah, and listen, I'm always happy that my guys make $250 million, dude. That's awesome. But let be realistically, though, my point was that contract's on the table next year. Right? He can still sign it next year. The reason he signs it now is to make Milwaukee feel better, is to make it so that the air of like, what's he going to do is gone. I think he should have just said, I fully plan on being here. I'm not signing anything right now, just because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me right now. We're going to whatever. But I want to end my career in Milwaukee, and I think we can make that happen. And I'm fully committed to this season and this championship. And I think he would have been fine. It's just weird, man.
His girlfriend started crying, and he got down on one knee and proposed. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling secure. Well, okay, honey, here, let me just throw the rest of my fucking life away. Here you go.
Yeah. Absolutely. The girl he met when they were both ushers at a fucking movie theater, when they were both helping each other on their learner's permit test.
And look,
dude.
You're right. He is a good dude, though. Look, he would have made an absurd amount of money anyway. It is cool that he's sticking with the team that gave him a shot. I mean, look, they drafted him 15th. They developed him. I mean, I look back at when it was like, whose team is it? Giannis or Jabari Parker?
Remember that?
I mean, shit. I mean, he's come a long way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
100%.
And look, I get re-signing with a team that gave you a shot. Like, to a lesser extent, look at Fred VanVleet, a guy who went undrafted. Like, you're telling me he's not going to give his hometown team a bias?
Right. No, I get that. No, you're right. And Giannis, especially of all people, he's the kind of guy, and that's what's shocking, I guess, on some level, is that, like, this just is not how NBA superstars behave, right? Like, they do think like what it is about, like, just reality, just like the power and the leverage. And Giannis had all the fucking leverage, and he had no reason to do this now. It'd be one thing if that contract disappears, is off the table December 21st, but no, he could have signed it next year.
Bam did a similar thing with Miami when he didn't ask for a player option in the fourth year.
Right.
And or fifth year, whatever. But like, it is like almost like a,
well, I think that's more,
I
think that's more Pat Riley having a fatter dick than Danny Ainge and whoever the fuck is the Utah GM than Bam. But yeah, I agree with you. It does show when all those guys in his class were getting it, he could have very reasonably. And you know what? What's interesting, you know who's fucking Bam's agent? Bam's agent has the same agent as Giannis's agent. So it's interesting to think about that. You know what's really fucking interesting? You know who Jabari Parker was the second pick? You know who's the third pick in that draft?
Who?
Joel Embiid.
Wow.
Imagine Giannis and Joel. That would have been interesting.
Damn.
Who else in that? Marcus Smart.
I
That's
mean,
a bad
obviously
draft.
they're both great players. I don't know if their skill sets are ideal.
No, they're
Giannis
not.
needs someone with a good J. He
Dude,
really
that's
needs a guy who could get buckets. I also think,
Bogdanovich in that draft. He was the
but he also
27th
needs a
pick.
guy who could kind of create a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I'm just pissed because Milwaukee. Look, Sean Horst is just. After the fucking the Bogdanovich thing was going to be like what he made up. I like Dante DiVincenzo, but to turn DiVincenzo essentially into Bogdanovich was magic. And then the fucking deal falls apart because somebody can't keep their mouth shut. And if that leak came from the Bucks, that's enough. That in and of itself deserves Giannis not to fucking sign there. I just think going back to the Brogdon stuff and the way they've managed their cap and the way they don't understand.
That's a big fuck up losing Brogdon because he's exactly what the fuck they need.
Choosing Bledsoe over Brogdon and then fucking up your cap completely. I mean, they did it this year.
Who would you rather have right now? Brogdon?
Without question.
No. Brogdon or Drew Holiday?
Listen, take them. You're right. We don't even really need, Drew. You definitely don't need to exchange that many picks. I mean, who would I rather have? Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's a better player than Brogdon.
By a little. Brogdon is Drew's such an elite defender, but Brogdon on offense is very underrated.
Totally. But you're right. Maybe on offense, I would make a little bit more have Brogdon, but they're close, and I think
Wasn't
Drew is
Brogdon rookie of the year. Like, how do you not value?
Yeah, but that was a fraudulent rookie of the year.
It was a shitty year but it's still rookie of the year.
And he was an old rookie, and he's also got injury concerns too. I think Drew is a better player, but Drew, I'd rather have Brogdon and then those 3 draft picks. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have that. I'll tell you that much.
For sure. No, they fucked up.
So I just don't trust this fucking GM, and Giannis is he's just making this. You're right. It's high school girlfriend just proposing to her, and but look, I also just really fear that in 2 years he's stuck. They don't have first round picks for perennial contenders aren't that big a deal, but you can replenish the back of your bench.
This isn't what I mean? This isn't this isn't like, hey, do you want to go play for a contender? Okay, where is it? Milwaukee. Not a bad city, but it ain't LA.
Right.
It ain't fucking
right.
It doesn't have like those bright lights where you might get endorsements. It might be set up for other shit afterwards. Like, it's Milwaukee. It's not, it's fine. It's
especially when you play with a super duper star.
Yeah.
He's getting any endorsements that are coming out of there.
Not only that, they've got Giannis and Middleton, and they have Drew Holiday. Look, they have a 3-headed monster now, but it's not, they don't have, they still need like a creator. They don't really like Middleton and Drew can handle the ball.
Drew is better than Bledsoe. He is at that.
Because he can shoot. Bledsoe just could not hit the threes. And Drew will be a step up, but like
he's a step up, but you're right. He's not exactly what they needed. They really needed a pure point guard. Chris Paul is, obviously Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards of all time, but that style of player, someone who can run pick and roll more with Giannis, who can create some shots, who can get
a
people
healthy
involved.
Version of like Kemba Walker would have been what they needed.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Someone like that though. I mean, like someone healthy who can create and hit the
absolutely
jump shots. You need someone who can run the pick and roll with Giannis, because Giannis ends up in this position where I think at the end of games, he sometimes feel like he has to do it himself. And then sometimes those shots that are there for him in the first 3 quarters, they ain't there anymore. He's such a vicious open floor player like Westbrook. We've talked about this, but like when you got to hit those mid-range shots at the end, that's where guys like KD or Kawhi or LeBron, that's when those guys separate themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And
those guys all have other stars. KD has Kyrie.
Right.
Who's looking good right now.
Absolutely.
Say what you want about Paul George. Giannis will be better off with Paul George than anyone he has right now.
$190 million man. By the way, how does Paul George get 4 for 190 and Giannis gets 5 for 224? You're telling me Giannis is it 228, whatever. I don't know. What's that? Giannis makes like 50 something and Paul George makes like 47 million. That's shouts out to Paul George. And by the way, you know what's really funny?
Agent.
The guy who really, I was looking at a list of the highest paid players in the NBA, man. Salute to Tobias Harris's father, who is also his agent. That man is a fucking wizard. And so, he's got to thank those fucking dumbasses, those fucking stupid tech bros, Wall Street bros that bought the Sixers and were like, we're going to go big. And we'd rather have Tobias than Jimmy. shouts out to, I mean, the Harris family got super
dumb
paid.
Do you feel right now? Because also you got to look at the Sixers like a year ago, be like, we were a shot away from the Bucks.
So close.
And then I'm sorry, but I think the Sixers beat the Bucks. And then you got to think the Sixers got a shot for a fucking ring.
Yeah, I don't know if the Sixers
just
beat
based
the Bucks.
on. I mean,
maybe. Let's not forget the Bucks were up. The Bucks dropped fucking. They were up.
They couldn't close it out though.
Yeah, they lost 4 straight, right? Isn't that how it went?
4 motherfucking straight.
It was brutal. But and they were up in game 3 too. It was a tough. So I mean, they were really good, and they still had Brogdon back then, and I think, would have been an interesting. I think it's definitely a real possibility. But
after seeing what Jimmy did this year, like I think.
You
got to.
The Sixers
right now. You got to say Jimmy's a top 10 player in the league right now.
The Sixers, yeah,
don't you?
Yeah. Right now, sure. The Sixers too. It's like you should have picked Jimmy, and you honestly should never even traded for Tobias Harris, if we're being honest. And you should have just
Tobias had such high value when they traded for him because he was having an absurd.
He was great. He was great.
Having an absurd season with the Doc Rivers coach Clippers.
But he was also in a career. He was in a contract year, and he was in that little zone that's like they traded for him at the worst possible time for their franchise because he was good but not great, and he also knew that the Sixers didn't really have that many options to get better unless they because of that asset, they traded for him. So they knew they wanted to extend him.
Right.
And so he just kind of had them by the balls, and they really fucked that up. Anyway, any concluding thoughts here on Giannis before we talk about some preseason basketball?
I think Giannis is an old school guy. I think it's funny that I compared him to Russ because I think Russ kind of has that old school mentality too of like, I want to stick with the team that drafted me. That's kind of almost at a place in time these days for players. So Giannis and Russ had that in common. Didn't work out great for Russ. I'll say that. He got fucking dumped onto the Rockets.
Yep.
I think it's a classy move what he did. I don't think it was a smart move.
I agree with you. I'm worried,
but it's hard to criticize a guy for taking $228 million.
And listen, the motherfucker can, if they really keep fucking shit up, even though it's really doesn't appear to be his style, you can ask for a fucking trade. You know what I mean? Like 2 years, you can try and get.
What I always don't like about that is then you're weakening the team that you're then going to.
That's true, but you're also making $250 million. You're also locking in $250 million, and it's like, if it takes a year, to get, or if it's just draft picks or something, who knows? But
I know he wants to win, but I think sometimes we overrate rings when we're like, yeah, these players want to win, but like $250 million.
$250 million is hard to say no to, and it's the thing where it's not like if he signs there, he's going to stop trying to win a championship. It's just he's gonna try and win like the kind of championship that means even more than Dirk's means more than both of Durant's. You know what I mean? Like it just does.
That's a great point. But who are they? Like, it's going to be hard for him to win a championship in his prime now. It just is. Like, I'm sorry. Like Middleton in this modern NBA, I don't think is a good enough second option for Giannis to win when he's going up against LeBron and AD, when he's going up against Kyrie and KD, when he's going up against Bam and Jimmy. I mean, every other star in the league has another guy.
But and it really comes down to
and a deeper bench on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, maybe there's Middleton trade possibilities, maybe over the years, since he's going to be there, you can take your time building the bench up. I don't fucking know. I don't like it, like we said, but also the other thing to think about is Giannis is the kind of guy that has improved year over year, and he's putting most of the pressure back on himself. If he's like, look, if I become the lockdown defender of those big wings and I become the go-to scorer in the end, maybe I don't need that good of a secondary player. And you know what? I'm not ruling him out as that kind of guy. I'm really not. And I respect him for wanting to do it, and I'll be rooting for him no matter what. But if there's a juicy little trade, listen, if there's a Porzingis to Dallas trade Porzingis for Giannis trade. I'm not mad at that in a couple years. Who knows? I'm just saying.
Fuck, dude, this just in.
What's that?
Giannis is dating Larsa Pippen. No, I don't know, man. I think he's going to be in a really tough position to win. I just don't see.
I know.
Like without the picks, this is almost like Harden being like, "I'll re-sign with Houston." It's almost.
It's not as. I think we're talking all this shit, but at the same time, in the playoffs, Middleton, him, and Holiday, that's 3 really good fucking players. Giannis, if they can figure out their crunch time a little bit better, and if Drew might just be good enough, man, it's really it might just happen.
So many maybes. They have so many maybes when other teams have absolutes. Like Brook Lopez he can give you 30. He could also give you 5. You know,
who are other teams' absolutes? Wait a second. Who are other teams' absolutes?
I think Philly's, right now Tyler Hero's looking like an absolute.
Come the fuck on, an absolute.
I'll
he had 3 good fucking games. An absolute. Get the fuck out of here, dude. He's 21.
Bam, Jimmy. Those are absolute.
Bam is not even an absolute, dude. It's like, I mean, listen, I believe in Bam way more than I do. He's an all-star, but what I'm saying is it was 1 year. My point is and also Jimmy might not hold up that much longer. Like it's not. Let's not get carried away.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Brooklyn's is all maybes. Philly is all maybes. Boston, Kemba's knees are fucking falling apart. They don't have Gordon Hayward anymore.
Did you just say Brooklyn is? Yeah, of course they're a maybe, but they're both fucking champions, dude.
Yeah, but it's everything is uncertain is my point. And it's not like in the East, there's some kind of like Goliath that this team can't actually beat. The Bucks can beat any team in the East right now.
On paper, I think I take Miami or Brooklyn. On paper, we'll see how Brooklyn comes together. I would love to be wrong. Don't get me fucking wrong, Stavi. You know what? There's only room for one New York Giant now in this town. And that Giant is RJ motherfucking Barrett.
Yes, of course. I just think let's not get carried away here. Like he still has a fighting chance this year and for the next 3 years, probably as long as Drew is still an elite type of player, like an elite right under all-star, right around that. If he's hovering where he is now, for as long as Drew Holiday holds up, this team has a puncher's chance. I would
love to see it, dude. I think Giannis is cool. I love Drew Holiday. I think he seems like a good guy. He's a great player.
And I do think that's the tier, though. I do think the tier is Bucks, Heat, Nets at the very top. But honestly, I think they are more of a sure thing than those other 2 teams, at least in the regular season.
Right.
I believe in Miami, but I want to see it from Miami again, too, on some level. Anyway, it's been a half hour of Giannis talk. Why don't we transition to the Knicks? Just because that make this the most caricature episode of our podcast ever.
The Knicks.
Let's talk. We don't have to talk. I was joking, but go ahead.
Okay. I mean,
go ahead. Actually,
quickly on the Knicks, I'm pleased with what I'm seeing in RJ Barrett. I think he looks like he's taken a step. He looks really strong. He's put some muscle on. I'm a little nervous about some of
everything else.
Kevin Knox comes in the game, immediately shoots 2 air balls. And I'm like,
are you
fucking kidding me, dude?
I know.
What the fuck? And here's the thing. At Kentucky, everyone's like, you got to give him a couple years because he's very raw. And I'm like, I hope, man. He's
I don't believe.
I mean, we'll see. Dennis Smith looks just god awful.
Yeah,
glad that we traded our franchise player in a trade where Dennis Smith is the centerpiece. That's if like a pube was the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving dinner. It's just like, why don't you just have a fucking pube instead of turkey?
You fucking hate DSJ, dude. I'm rooting for that kid.
I'm rooting for him, but I watched the fucking guy. So what do you want from me? You want me to be like, yay, he fucking dribbles.
You're right.
He dribbles, he goes 1-on-5, and he's like a dunk specialist at 6'1". Like,
no, you're right. You're right.
He doesn't get the big guys involved. He doesn't look for Obi Toppin, who is
not a great shooter.
Fun.
Obi's looking fun, but I don't mean to be a hater. The guy is he's a little slighter than I even realized off of his tape. Like he's not a big guy, dude. He's a 4. He can't play 5 and he can't play defense. So I'm not liking that either, but whatever.
Hey,
that's
the
Knicks.
What if I just do the Joaquin thing and just go, fucking Knicks fans.
If Halliburton like looks really good, we're really gonna feel like assholes for that pick. But that's neither here nor there. I watched a little bit of his games.
Halliburton looks like he could be fun. I mean, getting some shades of LaMelo, man. I know that at moments he looks like he should not be in the NBA, but at other moments you're like, this is one of the coolest plays I've seen in a while.
Well, the thing about LaMelo, and I watched the Charlotte game where I think they were playing the Wizards, and yeah, it was the Wizards, and or wait, was that Brooklyn? All these preseason games are mashing together. I've basically spent the last couple of days flipping from preseason game to preseason game,
Same.
but LaMelo looks awesome and his highlights look awesome, but then you see his stat line from that game where he had those 4 awesome assists, and it's like those were his only assists. He didn't score a single point.
And his shot is so ugly.
His shot is brutal. I knew the guy couldn't shoot. Like that was clearly the reason he wasn't the consensus number 1 pick. But that fucking 3 that the highlight that you see go. I mean, that's like that's a shot I shoot when I'm trying to shoot a 3 where it's like you don't quite have the power, so you have to like hoist because you don't have a natural shooting motion.
You know what he looks like? You ever see the movie Basketball? He looks like a guy who's getting out and it's like,
Yes, he does have a shot straight out of Basketball. But
I'll tell you who I enjoyed watching is Portland, man. They are deep as fuck. Like Harry Giles looks like he's going to have a year.
Giles fucked the Kings in the ass. I watched that game. Obviously, I love both those teams. Giles, because he was on the Kings. Giles looks fucking awesome. He's got some
anger towards Sacramento.
He really does.
He throws down a windmill when they're up by a shitload at the end.
He does a windmill garbage time of a preseason game, and he's like, he's just like shouting. It was awesome.
That's like running into your ex when you're with your new girl and just be like, honey, come here, and just fucking making out with her.
Yeah.
Like, dial it down. You're up by 20. Although Giles, he looks like, dude, honestly, if you want to be a good GM, just poach players from the Kings and the Knicks. Just take players from cultures that are not working, see their talent, bring them into a good culture. Bam. Portland has depth. The only problem with Portland right now is you don't have a great backup
point guard. Yeah, for sure.
Simons is a little young, but then
it's not that he's a little young. I think Simons is dangerously into that Knox territory. I mean, I think they're gonna give him another shot. I mean, they were talking him up. So they were sucking off Anthony Simons so hard last season that I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be – they were like, he can be our third guard. And he was horrible last season. He was so fucking bad.
But then at the bigs, their depth is outstanding because you've got Giles and Cantor and Melo and Nurkic and all these bigs.
Yeah. Collins is still hurt. I think that's probably why.
And Collins, oh my God! I mean,
Collins is out. I think that's probably why Giles.
You got to package a couple of those bigs and try to get a decent backup point guard.
I mean, you might be able to find some. I wonder if there's any backup point guards just still available. Like, it's the
Blazers are a threat. I'll also say this: I was watching the Pistons, obviously, because of the Knicks, and like, man, they have too many big men. Like, and also Blake Griffin.
Oh my God,
Blake Griffin just signed. Blake Griffin is such a good passer. It's so fucking fun to watch. Like, some of his passes, I'm like, this is insane. And then you see that they have Jeremy Grant, and it makes zero sense. Where you're just like, Jeremy Grant, clearly you just wanted to shoot, and now you might not get to shoot, and you're on a bad team. So Jeremy Grant, I get it. Like, maybe they can't promise he's going to be the third guy with Michael Porter Jr. ascending either. So it's
right.
You just
that was stupid. I mean, we've talked about that. That Detroit team makes no fucking sense.
No sense.
Absolutely no sense whatsoever.
That kid Killian Hayes looks kind of fun though.
That's the thing. They had a good draft. I was excited about Killian Hayes, and it's like, Killian.
Bay.
Yeah, exactly. And Bay, and it was like, wow, they had a really good draft, and then they fucking completely load up on they sign the Nuggets backup bigs for fucking $30 million a year combined, and they still have Blake Griffin on the fucking on the Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. You got to think Derrick Rose is a candidate for being traded for sure. It's a shame that
Derrick Rose to Portland.
They just don't have anything that Detroit would be interested
because it's
in.
only big men, right? Yeah.
Unless Detroit's just stacking up big men. I don't know, dude.
Derrick Rose makes sense for Portland? Can you imagine if they had Derrick Rose, Melo, and Cantor? It's like
that's awesome.
the all NBA Knicks bang up mash.
The super team. Let's not forget.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what. John
JJ.
Wall said about the
How about
Rockets.
what? How about this? JJ Barea to the fucking
Not bad.
the
Is he
Blazers
good enough right now?
Why not?
How did you hear that John Wall said the Rockets could have a super team?
Did he say that? That's awesome.
Because it's so clear that James Harden wants. John Wall is like a girlfriend that's posting a lot of pictures.
Oh yeah,
like, but
a lot of TBTs, lot of TBTs when they were more in love and she was a little hotter. That's John Wall, dude. John Wall is taking it's right after you graduated college when you're in Hawaii. Meanwhile, he's in front of the mirror. He's looking like shit. He's just like.
Dude, it's weird, but then also Wall, dude, what I say, Wall looks kind of good. Have you watched him?
I watched a little bit of him.
He's just so fucking skilled. He's so fucking skilled.
Yeah. No, I think like I said, if the Rockets I want the Rockets to just trade Harden. And the thing is, here's where. But okay, here's the thing about the Giannis thing and guys, this just happened, so. We might be fucking idiots and could be completely off in our analysis. Here, but I do think that this might be like a domino effect where it's like, because listen, Dallas was keeping their cap space open. Miami was keeping their cap space open. There were teams that weren't really going fully for it because they were like, let's wait. Even the Raptors to some extent. I bet you. Go ahead.
James Harden for Paul George.
I think from what I understand, listen to me, word on the street. When I say from what I understand, I mean from what I read and listened to on podcasts. I haven't been doing any reporting. I'm not talking to GMs, but I heard from I read on The Athletic and I heard on, I don't remember which podcast, but that the Clippers actually explored trading Paul George before re-signing him, which is kind of insane. And you'd have to think they would have done. I mean, because that would be awesome. I think Harden is a great fit, solves their offensive problems. Now, defensively, he's obviously a problem.
Right now, the Rockets, they're in couples therapy. They're like, we can still fix this. And and James Harden's like, I mean, I'll go, but this is fine.
He's getting head in the Uber on the way to therapy. And it's
like, sorry, I was late, honey. That was
yeah. He's like, I'm here. And she's like, where were you? He's like, getting sucked off. Now hurry up. The court says we have to do this before we can file officially for divorce. So we got 3 more of these sessions and I'm out of here, bitch. I'm going to Cabo. That's basically Harden's fucking vibes right now. He's about to go get hair plug surgery and buy his mistress a new ass.
Are they doing better than Paul George?
No. The Rockets are fucked. They're not gonna get value for this. Because
that's why you got to do some sort of package to Miami and try to get Tyler Hero and picks.
Well,
you're not doing better than Tyler Hero.
Okay, and that's what I was going to say is that
Paul George.
The thing about Giannis, the thing about Giannis being signed now is that now Harden for Miami is actually possible because who are the big free agents next year? I don't think anybody. Kawhi technically, but you got to think he's re-signing, right? Like Kawhi's not going to Miami.
I would think Kawhi stays in California because it's his home. But I mean,
who knows with that guy? But
stranger shit, obviously.
Let's see who are the 2021 free agents. but so I think this makes Miami and Dallas because look, Dallas is I think if I were Dallas, even with not getting Giannis, I would still wait this year out because Porzingis is not going to play till. It sounds like January or February.
But they said January, but with Porzingis, you just got to be cautious.
You got to be cautious. Exactly.
I'm still so fucking angry he's not on the Knicks.
So Gobert is technically a free agent next year. Oladipo's a free agent. Kyle Lowry is technically a free agent. DeRozan.
Oladipo, yeah. Jeez. Man, how about
Chris Paul has a player option. Blake Griffin has a player option.
Did you see ESPN ranking DeRozan 85th?
I did not see that.
Some fucking disrespect.
Yeah.
84 players better than DeMar DeRozan.
DeRozan really suffers from the fact that his skill, people aren't valuing his skill set right now. But on the right team, I think he could make. I mean, I think his destiny at this stage in his career is to be like, super like Vinnie Johnson, microwave scoring type shit, like off the bench, like super six man, super, Ginobili, like that kind of shit. He would be great like that.
The way he'll age all right, I think, because the way
Very crafty player. Yeah.
Jerry Stackhouse for the Dallas Mavs late in his career. That could be DeRozan, I think.
Totally. And DeRozan's never really, I mean, Stackhouse had more athleticism in his prime than DeRozan did, or at least his game was more predicated on that. DeRozan's never really been about, I mean, he can, it's surprising when DeRozan dunks, but he can. So yeah, I agree with you.
Power dunk, so he could definitely.
No, he can do it. It's just always kind of like, whoa, DeRozan dunked.
He's got good footwork. He's got a great mid range. I mean, yeah, I think he'll be around. You're right. If he's on a championship team, right? I mean, he is the best player on the Spurs. I think
Spurs really need to trade either DeRozan or Aldridge or both.
Aldridge at 35. Isn't that crazy how time flies, man? 35. Crazy.
Yeah, and who wants Aldridge? I think DeRozan could fetch something.
They're both like 80s players. They're both guys who are like going to kill you from the fucking 18-footer.
Yeah, although Aldridge actually shoots more threes than
like in the last year or two. Yeah, he started. Yeah.
So anyway, I think we might start like with Giannis gone, right? You have teams like that might be willing to make some moves. Although, like I said, if I were Dallas, I would wait, but who knows in the midseason if they look incredible and the other teams aren't looking that great and there's some kind of midseason move, maybe they're more apt to do it now. Same thing with Miami. I think like we were just saying, Miami to Harden, I think takes on a new life. I think they revisit those talks now that Giannis is definitely out and they're not going to be able to use that cap space next year anyway.
Right.
So, and then from there, different dominoes fall and we'll see.
It's going to be a boring free agency next year, though, huh? Unless Kawhi pulls some shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm looking at an old list. Like I'm looking at a list from the beginning of like this year, and number 1 is Giannis, gone. Number 2 is LeBron, gone. He signed the extension. Kawhi's number 3. Paul George signed. Rudy's still available. Drew has a player option, but you have to think there was at least some especially now with Giannis staying, you have to think he's resigning. That would be fucking hysterical. I mean, it would be brutal, but imagine if they trade Drew and he leaves. Yeah. I mean,
we'll see. Drew seems
Gordon Hayward,
loyal
Chris
guy.
Paul. I wonder what Chris Paul does.
No, Hayward just signed 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at an old list. So it's like even half the players on this list of a weak free agency class have already signed.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin, something tells me he's picking up that like $40 million player option.
Damn. But I'm sure it's a mixed feeling. I mean, he is in Detroit.
Yeah. He's picking that up. You're not making it.
You got to pick it up.
You don't say no to that money. Steven Adams, who's already resigned. So, yeah, I don't even know, dude. My hunch is one of the ultimate.
My fucking body is going to hurt after playing New Orleans.
Yeah.
Bledsoe, Zion, and fucking Adams.
Yeah. Although I don't like that signing.
Well, I don't like that there's no jump shooting anywhere to be found.
For sure.
That's like a 90s team too. I mean, where you're just like, what you're just going to beat me up?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But anyway, looking around the league too at other preseason stuff, we should talk about Durant playing again for the first time.
We got to talk about just the Nets in general. It's a completely weird, but then you see like all the shit talk, all the Kyrie being dramatic, then you see him play and you're like, he's fucking good.
Yeah. No,
he's really fucking good.
It was cool to see the Nets and just to see, Durant's first points back was a fucking dunk. That was awesome. He looked great.
Durant is like, think about like his frame. You forget that he just attacks the rim and dunks on dudes. Like, fuck, yeah. He has always been. I mean, dude, he is at his best, arguably the best closer in the NBA. If he gets hot,
yeah, like, best scorer. Even though Harden has put up more, raw numbers, it's like Durant's the best scorer of his generation for sure.
Harden's just very good at getting to the line. That's really what it is.
And he's got the green light in a way that Durant decided he didn't want, where he was going to join the Warriors. Although he said he didn't want, and then like after a while, he's like, you know what? I'd like the ball. I'd like more ISOs actually. But the Nets will be, it was nice to finally see them actually play basketball because it's like I'm tired of fucking, your Instagram post. And Kyrie, after getting fined $25K or whatever the fuck it was, he took part in media. He answered some questions. He sucked off Steve Nash at that. So it's like maybe he's just decided like, okay, Let me just fucking go through the motions of this bullshit.
And you could just hear Nash on eggshells when he's interviewed, where he's like, he's been great for me. Like, like what do you want? Like, Nash is not gonna, like, what's he gonna be like? Yeah, he's a lot. He's fucking a lot. And like, no, he knows what he has. He knows he's got a beast. And because you watch Kyrie, it's like what we were talking about. We're like, there might not be a more exciting player in the last like 10 years, dude. Like what he does, it's like and one shit, totally. But he can shoot. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. It's like when you show up, it's like you're supposed to hang out with your friends and you just show up and it's like your fucking clothes. It's like, oh, sorry. Your clothes are tattered. Your car, you're like, oh, I had to catch a train because she slashed my tires. And everyone's like, yeah, but the top is incredible. It's like, it's like, that's Kyrie, dude. It's just like, it's dating an insane person because they suck you off magnificently.
He really, you're like, she's going down. You're like, you're right. The world is flat. It's crazy. Yeah. The earth is flat. But
I should tell my mother to fuck off. You know what I mean? It's just like what it's like, and that's Kyrie on the court. You're getting your dick sucked while he's dribbling, and then when it stops, it's like, do you want to come see my one woman show? It's like, I guess.
KD also, when you just forget, like, KD can do everything, the face up, the three, the dunk. You're like, fuck. I mean, they're good if they mesh in a way and that team works, because LeVert's not even playing yet. Dinwiddie is really good, another really underappreciated guy. They picked up Landry Shamet, just spot up threes. They got Joe Harris from the threes.
Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan looks pretty good.
Looks all right. And listen, I think the best thing that happened to him is DeAndre gets injured and they're forced to play.
To Jared Allen.
Yeah. But also that team is deep. And you know what? That team has a trade to make if it needs to too. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it's Harden. I don't think Harden makes sense. I don't think they need any more fucking scoring on that team. They need a little defense for sure.
A wing would be. I mean, shit. They could have gone for Covington, but I don't think they would have given up more.
Yeah, they could have gone for Covington, or I mean, I thought they should have gone for or Drew. I mean, I'm glad he's in Milwaukee, but
PJ Tucker could still be a nice thing for them if they're cleaning house.
Yeah, that would be nice.
They might not be.
I think they're gonna try and trade Harden at the deadline is what I would guess. They're gonna hope he plays up his value and that somebody really needs him and whatever.
I mean, he's gonna look good. He's fucking James Harden.
Yeah, totally. But which I think is smart because I think for Houston, there's not much out there right now, and it's like just if it sucks now, we got him under contract for a while. Let's just take it to the fucking deadline.
It's Harden is like Shia LaBeouf, where you're like, I mean, there's a lot of baggage, and you're like, is this guy worth? And then you see Honey Boy, and you're like, he is good. I mean,
this is a strange time to be making this analogy. Didn't Shia's ex-girlfriend just sue him for being a abuser?
Oh, my bad. Okay, no, I don't know. All right, bad analogy. He's like, who's another actor who's a lot? Who's an actor who's a lot? He's like Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's never done anything wrong, right? What else?
No, I feel you though. Abuse aside, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's so anyway, any other we can't how have we gone so far without you gloating? You texted me right after you saw his line. Do you want to who's the player you're most non-Knicks player you were most excited about?
Who did I text you about?
Come on, dude. Denny, your boy. Denny Avdia.
Denny Avdia. Yeah, look.
Denny looked good. I have to give it to you. He looked awesome.
I mean, look, is there a fucking Jew bias going on?
100%. 100%.
There isn't. I'm just saying that guy would have been perfect for us because we actually needed a small forward. We actually needed. So, like, I'm excited.
Wait. What's RJ? What's RJ? You think he's a 2?
He's a 2.
I feel like him and Avdia play the same position.
I think but they're different types of players, and I think they would have.
They could share the floor, yeah, the same way, 2 wings, yeah.
I hope Obi is.
He looked great. He looked really good.
I think
Denny looked good.
Denny is going to be really, really nice, and
Jumper
jealous.
Looked good.
I wish because he's got a nice jumper. I think he's a nice passer. I just think he's like an all-around guy. And then we needed a point guard or 3, and we did not need a 4.
Yeah.
We picked the
4 they can't play defense.
A positionless ball, but like he's kind of stuck at a 4. He can't do a 3 or a 5.
Not at all. Big problem.
And look, I know Julius Randle is going to get traded at some point, but we got to build for the future. And
you're right. No, that's a good point though. He is going to get traded at some point, but at the same time, in a vacuum, he's not a horrible player. And if there were young players that don't play his position, you might as well maximize the fact that you have him under contract, take more valuable players at more valuable positions in the draft, and still play Julius Randle. Give him the opportunity maybe to put up some numbers or some shit and then trade him. It's a mistake. We are so, and hopefully this comes back to bite us and we're wrong. And in a year, we're like, we're fucking idiots.
I hope Obi becomes just a phenom. And he's shown flashes. The problem is he's the type of dude that needs a point guard to play with. He's got moments where like Wally Zerbiak was comparing him. Like if he can keep that 3 developing, he could be a Sean Marion type. The difference is Marion was a great defender.
No, it sounds to me like Wally Zerbiak was smoking a little too much of Cushy Dreams, high quality CBD, making an analogy like that, because Sean Marion is such a great defender, and Obi is, maybe a little bit more explosive, but not.
Marion fucking threw it down in his prime, though, dude.
That's true. But Marion was just like not. I mean, you see, Obi almost looks fucking hunched over, like he looks a little tight in his hips, which is why he should smoke a little CBD, little high quality Cushy Dreams, smoke a little Relax, and maybe go get a massage from our friends over at Cushy Dreams. Not the massage, the CBD. That'd be awesome if they also offered a massage. But listen, if you need to relax, you need to see things nice and clearly. You need to make ridiculous analogies about who the prospect that you drafted in the lottery reminds you of to make you feel better because it was probably a mistake. Well, we have good news for you. We've got just the product for you. Cushy Dreams. They have some of the finest lab tested, grown in the USA, shipped right to your door, smokable CBD. It comes in a little motherfucking tin. It comes in a little fucking pre-roll. Smoke it either way you want it. And you just have a nice time. I like to spark it. I love sparking up Cushy Dreams and watching the NBA. And that's my little tradition that we're going to keep going now. As the season is 6 days away. That's insane to say.
Can't believe it, man. I'm excited.
So if you want to engage in that fun little relaxing activity that me and Sammy love and watch hoops, smoke Cushy Dreams, then go to cushydreams.com. That's KUSHY dreams.com and use promo code PODDON'T. That's PODDONT for 20% off your first order. So you definitely want to do that, you little motherfuckers. Don't fuck around. It's going to be, it's a wonderful product. But yeah, I mean, Wally's out of his fucking mind if he says he looks like they're just not as similar players. And that's the problem. He's got the build of a player like that, and he just doesn't have the defensive versatility or ability of a player like that.
It's still early on. We'll see. I will say this. We got to give shouts out to John Morant for just looking flat out insane. Like, it is crazy that his game feels like a combo of Kyrie and Westbrook.
Right. That's a great point. Yeah, for sure.
It's in that some of the dunks he's been throwing down already. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, he is fearless and he can stroke it. I mean, he's unreal. Like,
and an insane passer. Will be a phenom.
I
love Josh so much.
He's awesome. I mean,
we really got fucked. Why the fuck couldn't we have gotten the number 2 pick last year?
You know what? RJ's looking like he could turn shit. RJ's body is looking great right now, though. He looks.
I love it, dude. We're the New York Knicks. Are our players good? No, but they're very fuckable. He's handsome. He's handsome and he's hot and he's jacked. And that's all that matters, dude. Do you want to suck your players off?
The Knicks just signed Kumail Nanjiani to a 10-day contract after his Marvel shirtless pick.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, we're fucked. I mean, the good news is we're being patient. And I will say this, Tibbs appears to be a good coach. He appears to like force D. Nerlens Noel seems like a good veteran signing. I actually really like what he's doing.
I like Nerlens. I just,
We just don't have a fucking point guard. It's a fucking point guard rich league. How do we have fucking Alfred Payton still? I love Payton as a backup. Payton would actually be great for Portland. He's
great
a
for Portland
backup. But as a fucking starter, why do we always have a bunch of guys who are below average? Like it's like,
and no one can fucking shoot. No one can fucking shoot. But I don't know. Any other observations from the preseason? Anybody that you saw that you liked?
Like
Anybody
to see
that's
my man Kelly Oubre in the Bay Area. Shouts out to Kelly.
It was nice to see Steph. I am the number one fucking Warriors hater in the world, but you want to see Steph out there, bro. You want to see them. And you know what? I'm really excited for this. That was sad. I wanted to see Clay.
You forget that Steph's release is so fucking.
He's just unbelievable.
It's unreal.
He's unbelievable, and I'm very curious to see. We thought last year was going to be like a referendum on, every Steph fucking fan that's like, oh, he's just as good as LeBron. Which is like, okay, well, here's a horrific team, and let's see what Steph does. This year, I think it's
as good as LeBron.
People say that. Go back to his fucking MVP season, dude. Go back to people were fucking
incredible, but no, you can't say he's on LeBron's level.
Dude,
he's incredible.
I know, but people say that. Steph guys say that. And by the way, how horrible is this fucking?
People say that fucking,
no man,
people babies and chew on the blood and shit. Like, who cares what the fuck?
Yeah, well, some things are true.
All right, Steph is not true.
It's Hanukkah. It's not Passover.
Did you hear about the 6-day storm that could knock out all the lights? It sounds like it feels anti-Semitic. This weather conspiracy because it's like the anti-Hanukkah. It's a little short. Yeah. Instead of lights, there's no lights. I'm like, something's anti-Semitic. Even these weather conspiracy theories have like a hint of anti-Semitism.
Just a little sprinkling of anti-Semitism. Is it supposed to be 6 days?
Just a smear. Just a smear.
Is it really supposed to be a 6-day storm?
It's word on the street.
Word on the street, meteorology edition. Damn, I didn't know that. I thought it was gonna be like a sprinkle tomorrow. Fuck. Do I have to go buy ingredients to make my famous snow in chili, Sam? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I think you got to do that, man.
I got to roast a pork shoulder and then make a chili with it.
Oh, you go pork shoulder. That sounds good, man.
Dude, I'm a pork shoulder fucking. I might try beef for a change, but I'm just a pork shoulder guy.
Yeah, I do turkey burger usually in there, but
interesting.
Love it, dude.
Interesting.
Get a little ground turkey meat.
I love that.
Make it all crispy. Toss it in there. Fucking.
You know what? Ground turkey's a good idea. A little healthier for me.
A little healthier. Chili can be very healthy. You could throw in. Here's another good tip for chili.
Hit me with it. Hit me.
Greek yogurt instead of sour cream.
Oh, dude, that's me all day. I've been doing that. I've been doing that since you could get.
People do that though.
Oh, it's the best. First of all, I've known about Greece. I would go to Greece on vacation, have yogurt, and be like, "What the fuck? Why the fuck don't we have this in America? This country sucks in every other way, but they're crushing. We got better yogurt than America, and finally
cling to. But
we had it, dude. That was our thing, and finally it's here.
Yeah, chili is a fucking winter essential, man. I make chili all day.
Maybe I'll try and make a healthy chili for a change.
What do you put in there that's unhealthy? I mean, you just
just pork. It's a whole fucking pork shoulder. It's just, that's basically it.
I make a pretty healthy. I make a pretty healthy chili. I do the pinto, the black beans. I throw some zucchini, bell peppers.
Wow, zucchini! Look at you.
Oh, it's so good though. It tastes great.
Interesting. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try and do a healthy chili. Anyway, I saw briefly going around Anthony Edwards looked really athletic. That he looked good. I want to see more of him, obviously. And look, preseason, you just want to see if people embarrass themselves, really, more than anything. Taylor Horton Tucker. That's who we should talk about.
Oh my God, dude.
What the fuck is there?
You know what? We haven't done this in a while. I got to award that motherfucker guy
who fucks
of the week. First off, he has an amazing first game. Gets the LeBron Twitter shout out.
Gets the Twitter shout out.
LeBron calls him special, which that's something. This kid's like 20 years old.
LeBron's really rubbing in how much of a better teammate he is than the other superstars right now.
So much.
He's like, Kawhi's not tweeting about the fucking.
Kawhi's not even on social media.
Yeah. Maybe Kawhi's been doing Tumblr posts about how good Luke Kennard is, but no one sees them.
Kawhi gives him like a nod. Do Did you see him with Zubac, like fucking like playing with him?
That was pretty funny.
I think Kawhi seems like he's kind of fun, but he is a fun guy.
Just weird.
Taylor Horton Tucker, man. Then the next game dropped 31, and it's like it's weird where he's not like I could see how a guy like that can slip through scouts because he's not like crazy athletic. He's not like, he's got a lot
he wasn't like he wasn't like a star in college. He was just like a 10-point a game guy on like, I think like Iowa State or something. I don't remember where he played.
Hard shots. He has like a knack to getting through shit where you're like, this dude is pretty nasty.
And he's playing so much that he's going to get an opportunity at real minutes. And I think the Lakers are basically going to run out their fucking B team. They're going to run out their bench for as long as possible. That's what I think.
The Lakers have figured out a fucking good team. I don't know how they won the offseason after winning the title. That doesn't usually happen.
Well, and I think the way they won the offseason is specific because, look, did they really improve their closing five in the playoffs? Not necessarily. I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Schroeder and Montrez are in that five, and that helps.
Montrez is not in the closing five. No chances.
I think he is. And you put AD
no way.
Five. I think so.
No fucking. I promise you, their closing five is LeBron at the 4, AD at the 5, or Gasol. If it's Jokic, maybe Gasol at the 5. There's no way Trez is sniffing the closing 5 in big games. No chance.
But that's sure, man. He's such a good scorer.
He's a horrible defender. And
not a good defender. Great rebounder though.
Better than LeBron or AD when they're locked in at the last fucking. And wings, no, dude. It's just that's not how the NBA is played.
Fine, but they got Kuz and Schroeder and
Caldwell. Kuz isn't closing either. The point is though, he's important.
Kuz might close.
I don't think so. I think LeBron. Well, maybe. I guess
the fucking 3.
What's funny is Morris was closing games in the playoffs last year. Their minimum Morris.
Mook's brother, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, but even though Trez is not going to close games, right? He is really valuable because the Lakers just need innings eaters, bro. They just need people to play on games where LeBron and AD are sitting out. And I think that's more than anything, that's what they did. And I think Taylor Horton Tucker will get a real shot at real minutes in the regular season because the Lakers are going to play it. It's not going to matter to LeBron. It's not going to matter to AD even.
Yeah, just protect the king right now. You just got to protect those legs. Kawhi gets load management. LeBron doesn't do that. You got to just eat up minutes for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet you we're going to see a little load management more so than before.
Well, now that people aren't buying tickets, it's a little more excusable.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let me just look at this who they got on this fucking team. So it's going to be LeBron, AD, KCP, Schroeder, and
Caruso might get some minutes down the stretch for defense.
You know what? Wes Matthews is more likely to close games than Montrezl Harrell.
Not more likely than Caldwell Pope after his postseason.
No. No. They play together in this scenario. Scenario. I think Schroeder, KCP, Wes Matthews, LeBron, and Anthony Davis honestly makes the most sense.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations. Anyway, action-packed here, folks. It's like we're getting so close. Next week, 10 days for Christmas right now as we record. And what was I going to say? Thank you for everybody for signing up. You're going to want to listen to the Patreon this week. Sam, we need to start a tradition. We texted about it briefly, but I think, are you frozen, you fucking piece of shit? All right. I'm ending the show. Sam's frozen again, but he can suck my dick. I'm ending the show. Folks, you're going to want to tune into the Patreon because we are going to do a special year. I think we're going to make it a yearly tradition where it's the Patreon before the season starts. We're going to give you an opportunity to tell us everything we did wrong, everything we said wrong. Send in your emails to poddon'tlie@gmail.com. If you send a voice memo, if you send an audio file, we will play your call like it's a voicemail in a call-in radio show. So you can tell us what we said that was fucking stupid. You can really trash us, and we just have to sit there and take it, and we'll argue with you in absentia, but we will address it. And we're going to go back and listen to our prediction podcast from the beginning of last season, and we'll trash ourselves. So I'm really excited to go back and listen to that episode when me and Sam did the over-unders for the teams last year. I know I was wrong about some stuff. I know Sammy was wrong about a lot of fucking things. So we're going to pull some of those clips. We're going to have a really fun episode, and that's patreon.com/poddon'tlie. We appreciate you for signing up, and you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a really fun episode. So get those in, let us know, have examples, really hold our fucking feet to the fire when we made mistakes and had horrible calls, because here's the thing. We're a couple fucking idiots, and I'll probably contradict myself week to week on this fucking podcast. You think I give a fuck? This isn't my job. Knowing the NBA, I analyze the game from my heart, from my soul, from my hard ass prick. I'm not fucking remembering what I said. So do that. Listen up. Thank you for listening. Go watch Sam's fucking special. Very funny. He shot it all on the rooftops in New York City. And if you want, go buy one of my calendars at stavi.biz. I have 2021 nude calendars where you can enjoy that, mark the passage of time by looking at my butt cheeks. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for us. Sam is somewhere with a shitty MacBook Air that he refuses to upgrade. And we will talk to you this weekend on our special humble pie edition of Pod Don't Lie. So talk to you then, guys. Bye.